The path to the enlightenment has to be taken through space and time, and therefore subject to all dimensions of space and time. But the phenomenon called enlightenment is beyond time and space, because Nirvana too is beyond time and space. As Buddha has mentioned at the end of a discourse called Kevada Sutta that you get in the Digha Nikaya, volume 1, page 578. At the end of the discourse, he has uttered a stanza in Pali. It says, all physical elements are absent in Nirvana. In fact, they are not elements as the scientists think of the basic elements of the physical world. There are only 4 major events in the physical universe. There are no things according to Buddhism. There are events, happenings. That is what even the scientists have now found out in the physical universe. Even as far as 5th century BC, a Greek philosopher expressed that no one can step into the same river twice. That means nothing can be touched twice, because they are always changing. And this changing world means an active world, active universe. Everything is active. But the Greek philosophers thought that everything in the universe is made out of atoms. The word atom means immutable, not breakable, cannot be broken into, cannot be destroyed, indestructible atoms. It was not even 100 years back the scientists discovered that there is a nucleus in an atom and there are electrons moving around the atom. That means atom is also in motion. Later they found there are protons and neutrons in the nucleus of the atom, and those particles are rotating around themselves in motion constantly. Later they found those protons and neutrons are made of quarks. Toward the end of the last century, it was really in 1995, the 5 theories called string theories were unified into one theory called M theory or master theory, which says that all elements are vibrations, energy strings vibrating. Vibration means constant changing. And they found the entire universe is an orchestra of music. And there are no things in the world, there's nothingness. Now even the scientists have found out universe is empty. For example, they have found out even in an atom 99.999 12 points. Atom is empty, but we don't see that emptiness with our naked eye. Emptiness is the reality behind the material world. And it is realizing this emptiness in our mind because we don't experience anything other than the mental images. We know the mental images of things created by the signals given by the sense organs to our mind. All our sense organs are incapable of knowing the reality of anything. We cannot see atoms or subatomic particles. We can hear lot of sounds, mobile waves, TV waves, radio waves. We cannot. Nor can we smell even what a dog can smell. Our sense organs are so weak, and we know only what is created by the mind according to the defective, incomplete, distorted signals given by the sense organs. Therefore, our mind is filled with wrong information that we call knowledge, but in fact, according to Buddha, knowledge is nothing other than ignorance. Because when you know something, what we know is insignificant. What we don't know is much more than what we know. Therefore, our knowledge is ignorance. And all mental forms, as I mentioned, therefore are distorted. They are not actual realities. Enlightenment means emptying the mind of all mental images. Thoughts are mental images. Feelings are mental images. Freedom from thought and feelings. Then the mind becomes free, void. That is why the Nirvana realized by the Enlightenment is called Sunyata, meaning void or emptiness. Mind turns to be empty with the disappearance of thinking and feeling. Although it takes time, lives and lives, years and years, billions of lives, to mature for enlightenment. And all the activities on the path to enlightenment takes time. Any activity. In the universe, there is nothing other than activities. Enlightenment means a mind, a state free from all activities, a non-material state, and it is supposed to be the original nature of our mind, emptiness, freedom from all physical elements, physical particles, physical events. And that is why the enlightenment is called Sunyata, void or emptiness. That realization of this ultimate reality is instant. It doesn't take time, although it takes time to understand this reality. It takes time because our mind is covered with false information, as I mentioned it earlier. And all our thoughts, the mental forms, feelings are created by ignorance without knowing the reality. And all those thoughts, good or bad thoughts, they defile the mind. It is not difficult to understand bad thoughts, negative thoughts are poison in the mind. Once the poison is removed, the mind becomes pure. It becomes closer to original mind. For the first 20 years, Buddha advised his disciples to clear the mind, remove the defilements in the mind, the negative energy of the mind, what you call the bad deeds not to do in thoughts, words and actions of the body. To be free from evil. Sabba papasa akarana. Akarana means not doing anything evil in mind, in words or in deeds. Kusalasya prasampada, when the mind is free from evil, it becomes virtuous. Although the mind becomes virtuous and very blissful, we become attached to that virtue. We become attached to our own goodness. Attachment is a mental defilement. The resentment that we experience to bad thoughts create a stronger karma and a stronger defilement. For example, our hatred, ill will, envy, etc. They defile the mind, and they are strong defilement. They are poison in the mind. They bring a lot of toxin to the mind and to the body. When toxins are removed, that means when the evil nature of the mind is removed, there comes up a virtuous nature of the mind, and that also defiles the mind because attachment is a defilement. We like it. Both liking and disliking. We start liking the virtuous mind and disliking the evil mind. And both liking and disliking are defilements. Therefore, in the Dhammapada, or in the Malavagga, that chapter Malavagga, Buddha has mentioned we have to remove those defilements little by little from moment to moment. That means it takes time. It's a very small, insignificant quantity we can remove in a moment. And it takes a long time to remove all the evil tendencies in our mind. Therefore, the path to enlightenment takes a long time. At the end of removing all those defilements, the mind stops thinking and feeling. Because all our thoughts and feelings are generated by mental defilements. That is our liking, disliking and getting illusion. They defile the mind. Liking is called raga in Pali, disliking is called dosa in Pali, and ignorance of reality through illusion is called moha. They are the generators of our thoughts. We think of things that we dislike, we think of things that we like, that we dislike, and that we don't know or ignorant of. When the mind is free from liking, disliking and illusion, That's called raga, dosa, moha. It becomes an enlightened mind. Enlightened mind means full of light. It is the poetic expression of removal of ignorance. Ignorance is darkness. When the darkness disappears, there appears the original light. Buddha has mentioned that our original mind is radiant, full of light, emanating light, original light. That means a clear mind. Therefore, clearing the mind is an activity we have to undergo in the path to enlightenment, and like clearing a forest, clearing a jungle, clearing the mind from its evil nature takes time. Once they are cleared, once the last moment is cleared, we don't know when it will happen, enlightenment becomes an instant phenomenon. For example, the Buddha's closest disciple called Reverend Ananda, he had to get enlightened before the first council of Buddha's disciple after Buddha's passing away to discuss the teaching of the Buddha. And qualification notes, he had to get enlightened. On the day, on the night before the starting of the council, Reverend Ananda tried his best to get enlightened, and ultimately he became very tired in the morning, early in the morning. And it was reported he sat on his bed to lie down and rest a little. And when he sat and was trying to lie down, he got enlightened. Instantly. There is a report in the Therigatha, a lady around called Patachara got enlightened when she washed his feet before going to bed, finding when he put water first, they went a little distance and get soaked in the ground. Second time, it further. Third time, much more further. Then she got the insight into a big problem. She became a disciple of Buddha to pacify his mind, her mind from worries that she had with regard to the death of her parents in their old age, death of her husband, brothers and sisters at their mature age, middle age, and death of her children in the young age, early age. This incidents she could saw in a new light after seeing the water soaking onto the soil step by step. And it is reported in her own statement in the Therigatha, when he sat on her bed and blew off the lamp to lie down, she got enlightened. Therefore, enlightenment happens instantly and suddenly, when all the requirements are full. There is another story with regard to another disciple of Buddha called Chullapantaka. He was rubbing, according to Buddha's advice, a piece of cloth and looking at the sun. And when the piece of cloth got dirty, he realized the nature of life and the world, and the impurities of the world, impurities of the body and the impurities of the mind. Got enlightened suddenly. There is another story with regard to a disciple called Swarnakara. His teacher before the Buddha was Reverend Sariputta. Sariputta taught him to meditate on the impurities of the body, but he could not. When it was brought after 4 months to the Buddha, by miraculous power, manifested a lotus and gave it to him and asked him, look at this. Keep on looking at this. When the mind became concentrated, absorbed in the beauty of the lotus, Buddha with his miraculous power caused the lotus to wither away and die. And he realized the nature of the life. Everything is born to decay and die. And he lost his attachment, resentment, and ignorance of the reality. Got enlightened. But that enlightenment happened suddenly and instantly. This shows traveling towards enlightenment. Preparation for enlightenment takes time. But enlightenment is timeless because enlightenment opens up your mind, opens up your mental eye to the ultimate truth of emptiness in the Nirvana. That is what Buddha said when he got enlightened. In his first sermon called Dhammacakkappavattana, he said, what happened at the enlightenment? Chakkum udapadi. Chakku means, the verbal meaning chakku is eye, udapadi means dawn of the eye, but yes, it is a poetical expression, metaphorical expression, the dawn of the sight. Sight of what? Nirvana. What is Nirvana? Void, sunyata, emptiness, the reality. Ultimate reality of everything that even the physical scientists are now realizing through their own experiments. That sight, there was nobody seeing, but there is a sight, and ultimately it leads to enlightenment. He could see the entire truth, which is nothing other than emptiness, empty of all what is physical. That is what Buddha expressed with regard to the Nirvana, ultimate reality, in the Kevada Sutta I mentioned at the beginning, where he said it is free of all physical elements. That physical element. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Patavi, Tadda Lakkana, getting pressed. Now everything is made out of things that are pressed together. Atoms are pressed together. Even in an atom, particles are pressed together. Things getting pressed is an event. It's a happening in this physical world. When things get pressed, there is a bondage created. Even in atom, even in nucleus atom, protons and neutrons, which are normally repellent, are bound together. Proton, electron, they, without being repelled, proton repels, but they are bound together by the neutrons. Therefore, things get pressed together, and that is called Patavi Bhuta. Bhuta means incident. Things get bound together thereafter. That is called Apo, Abandhana Lakkana. When things are bound together, they get heated. Heated, for example, when two things get together, the electrons of two things, they get charged, electrical charge. Production of electricity. That is called Tejo, electrical heat. Whenever electricity is produced, it produces magnetism. Magnetism is the power to attract and repel. Motion. Motions are created by magnetic power. And that is called Vayu. Buddha said in that stanza at the end of the Kevada Sutta, Etta Apo Patavi Tejo Vayo Nagadati. They are absent in the Nirvana. Etta Namancha Rupancha Asesam, there is no name and form. Nothing physical, nothing mental in Nirvana. Both the physical and the mental natures are absent in Nirvana. That is void. Then it says there is nothing digancha, rasancha, anum, thulam, subhasubha. There is nothing measurement, no dimensions. There is nothing that we can measure by dimensions of space or dimension of time. There is nothing long, digancha, rasancha short, anum small, thulam big, subha good or bad. All differentiations that you find in this physical world in which you live are absent. There is nothing material, nothing physical. There is nothingness. Nirvana is nothingness. That is what the last people of the Buddha called Subhadra, who met the Buddha at the last moment of the Buddha, just before his passing away. He was a very learned, intelligent person. He had two questions. What is there in the Nirvana? What is the content of the Nirvana? And where is Nirvana? And Buddha gave the answer in a poetic, metaphorical way. Akase padannati. Nirvana is void, empty, is empty of all elements. There is nothing in it. Akase padannati. That is the inner meaning of the word. It's spoken by the Buddha at the last moment. Samano nati bhaire. Here, samano means the tranquility, the peace, the bliss of Nirvana is nowhere else but within oneself, within one's own mind. It happens when the world created by the mind through mental images disappear from the mind, it becomes empty and it becomes the ultimate reality and the ultimate bliss. It happens suddenly without taking time, no duration. It's an instant phenomenon. Nirvana is an instant phenomenon. But the path to Nirvana has to be taken through space and time. Therefore, it is subject to the dimensions of space and time. But Nirvana, there is no space, there is no time. Ananta, timeless, infinite. In that infinity, there is nothing but emptiness. Infinite emptiness. That can be realized instantly at the end of the path to enlightenment.